It's about that time. Let's analyze the NASCAR Cup Series field and determine who will be the 16 drivers to make the chase and have a shot at the Cup. Hello, everybody. My name is Brody. It's that time of year. The NASCAR Cup Series season is right around the corner, and I've been waiting to make this video for a long time. I'm going to jump in. We're going to analyze the 16 drivers who I think have the most realistic shot at getting into the chase, and I will seed them 1 through 16, as well as throwing some honorable mentions in there who potentially could leapfrog the 16 seed or the 15 seed and make a run at the chase themselves. So let's jump right in. Alrighty, guys, let's jump right in. I'm excited. So we got our NASCAR Cup Series Chase tracker here. We will feature 1 through 16. And once we get down to the 15th, 14th, 16th seed, I'll start throwing some honorable mentions in there about who I think will have a shot at breaking into the chase and taking a spot away from somebody who probably does deserve it. And a lot of those guys down there will be fighting and clawing their way into the chase. So anyways, we got to start with our number one. We got to start with our regular season champion. And I believe that person is going to be Chase Briscoe. I think Chase Briscoe has an interesting career up to this point, but what we should pay attention to the most is last season. And this is very crucial to note that this was his first year in well-rounded, solid, competitive equipment, and he put a hell of a season together with just his first year with the team, his first year with the new crew chief, and his first year with Toyota. A lot of firsts, and the season he put together is astounding. So if we break down Chase Briscoe, he finished what we would now call in the chase 7th in total points. So if we did the Winston full season points, he would have finished 7th. But if you look at his statistics, what we should note, and is very, very important to note, that he had the second best average finish, just behind his teammate Christopher Bell, of 12.7. And he also had the best average start, tied with William Byron at 9.9. Now, this also is off the back of 3 wins, 15 top 5s, 19 top 10s, and 27 top 20s. And he had 884 laps led. Chase Briscoe has a real shot to break out this season. I could see that win total going up. Now, you may look at me and be like, yo, Toyota has lost Chris Gabehart. Yes, that is a real thing, but you have to also take into consideration who Joe Gibbs Racing is racing against. I will get into those details more. But if you look at Team Penske, they had the playoff system down to a science, and now we're in a chase format. And if you look at Hendrick Motorsports, I believe they're going to start off slow because of that new Camaro Z01 body. So if you take those things into consideration, Chase Briscoe's first year at Joe Gibbs Racing at Toyota with James Small, and with the season he put together, and with all those firsts, and he made it to the Final Four, I can really see Chase Briscoe breaking out here and having a real good shot at winning the regular season championship and doing very, very well in the chase, because he's very, very consistent, and that is what this point system is finally rewarding drivers, is consistency. So be on the lookout for Chase Briscoe. He's my number 1. Coming in at number 2 is Kyle Larson. No surprise there. Kyle Larson is arguably the best suited driver for the new chase format. It rewards consistency, and Kyle Larson is arguably the king of consistency. His statistics back it up good, and he won the Winston Cup Series championship, the full season points championship. He won that on top of winning the playoff format. So if he can keep his consistency as good as it was and back up his championship run, no doubt in my mind, we could see Kyle Larson going back-to-back Cup Series champion for the first time ever since the playoffs got introduced. And I wouldn't mind seeing that happen. We are in a NASCAR star pandemic, and we need that back. We need those household names back. Kyle Larson can probably be the guy to do that. Kyle Larson had a wonderful 2025, winning the championship. All his stats back it up very well. He can probably do it again, and he will do it again. And Kyle Larson has a good shot at being the number 2 seed in the chase. At my number 3 seed is Kyle Larson's teammate, Chase Elliott, who also is really, really consistent, which we need if you want to make it far in the chase. So, Chase Elliott, he had a very good 2022, 2023, 2024 in terms of the consistency stats. And obviously, that's what the chase is going to favor most. So, I can see him picking up where he left off. He got those 2 wins. He was consistent throughout. Chase Elliott, he is a marvel, a legend, a GOAT in the consistency tier. And I'm going to preach that. I'm going to preach consistency throughout this entire video. So Chase Elliott, he had a very good 2025 season. He got 2 wins, which is more than recently he got in the 2024 season, 2023 seasons. So Chase Elliott, he's looking to continue his wins, and wins pay more, 55 points instead of the 40. So if Chase Elliott continues to be consistent, get those win totals up, does what he does what Alan Gustafson does with Chase Elliott, he should have a very successful regular season. And that's what we are talking about here. We're not talking about who wins the chase, who wins the championship. We're talking about who makes the chase and what seed they line up in. And I can see Chase Elliott winning the regular season championship. I really can. So I'm going to do a modest analysis, and I'll place him at the 3rd seed. Coming in at the 4 spot is Christopher Bell. We're starting off hot with a Joe Gibbs Racing, Hendrick, Joe Gibbs Racing. Christopher Bell had a under the radar season in terms of his average finish. He was the best driver in that category at 11.2 of all Cup Series drivers. He also was going to finish 3rd in the overall Winston Points Format Championship. So pretty consistent, and that's what we are rewarding here. So Christopher Bell did a good job in the 2025 season. Just missed out on the championship 4, but honestly, that doesn't even matter anymore. He had a very good season. That's what we're looking at, the overall season. So Christopher Bell, I can see him growing. I can see him picking that up. And Joe Gibbs Racing, yes, they may have lost Chris Gapehart, like I said earlier, but I think with Ford probably having a different playbook, and I'll get into that in a moment when we get to our first Ford driver, but Hendrick will start slow. You can't discredit the talent of Elliott and Larson, those guys that are consistent over time. But Christopher Bell, he is a world-class driver, just as Kyle Larson. So Christopher Bell, he will pick up where he left off. He will have a very good regular season, just like Joe Gibbs Racing always does, and Hendrick always does. They seem to have that more favored, but that could all change with the chase. But I think it will be more of the same for those groups. So Christopher Bell, he will round out the 4th seed, and he will fill out the top 4, the final 4. That is gone. Thank God. Okay, so anyways, Christopher Bell at 4. Now we move on to the number 5 spot, and it's more of the same. We got a Hendrick Motorsports car. It's William Byron. This should be no real surprise. He was the regular season champion a year ago in 2025. Had a great 2025 season overall. He had those 3 wins. He led the most laps of anybody in the Cup Series. He had a very good average start. So William Byron, obviously, he's young, he's talented, he's going to pick up where he left off. He has got a fast Hendrick Motorsports Chevy underneath him. It'll be more of the same from William Byron, and I can see him easily getting into that 5th spot and higher. He did it 1 year ago. He won this 26 race fragment championship period. He can do it again easily. All these guys have a chance. The ones I've already listed, the ones that I will list in a second, they all have a chance. These are just kind of speculation, but I think this will probably be somewhat around the range of what will happen. I don't think we'll get a Carson Hocevar regular season champion, but we could see William Byron definitely in the top 5 for sure. So William Byron at 5. Lining up in the 6th spot is Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin, he's going to do what he does best, and I think he knows this format better than anybody else. He almost won the chase against Jimmy Johnson that year. He knows how to get it done. I think he will save some of his stuff for that 10 race span. He's going to try to use his knowledge to his benefit. He's going to tell his crew chief, he's going to tell his team, all right, I need this from you guys. We're going to turn it up at this point, and we're going to save our best for last when it counts most. Denny knows how to play his cards and to play his hand, and there's no more one race, winner take all. This is Denny Hamlin's shot. I don't think he's going to expel all his energy, all his time into these first 26 races and slump the final 10. I think it will be the complete opposite. He will excel in those final 10. He will obviously not limp his way through the first 26 races, but he will get a win, get a couple wins, do what he needs to do to solidify a top 10 spot, or like I said, top 6 spot. He will be in that range and he will pace himself accordingly because he has been there and done that. Denny Hamlin, he had the most wins in last season in 2025. He can easily do it again, easily get more. He's going to come back highly motivated, and I believe in Denny Hamlin. So I'm going to put him at a modest sixth place, but it's strategically because Denny Hamlin knows what he's doing and he's going to put his best effort forward in 2026. So Denny Hamlin comes in at 6. Now we get to our first Ford. It is Ryan Blaney. Now, here is what I was going to talk about earlier with the Ford strategy. They obviously had the playoff system down to a T, down to a science, paced themselves throughout the regular season because why did it matter when you're in? Who cares about the rest? The Chase, I think Team Penske will try to implement the same routine, the same plan of attack. I think Ryan Blaney will probably get 1 to 2 wins, and he'll line himself up perfectly to be in that spot to pounce, like Denny Hamlin, on the Chase. And I think Team Penske is going to dial in on those last 10 tracks. They're going to try to extend their portfolio instead of it being the final handful of races, Martinsville, Phoenix. It's going to have to be those 10. And I think Team Penske is very capable of doing so, and I can see them doing it. In Ryan Blaney, there's no better Ford driver to execute that plan to perfection. So Blaney, he will most likely have some bad luck, have some DNFs, because that is usually what happens to the poor guy. And I think he's going to execute. I think he's going to do what he needs to do. Obviously, lock himself into the chase, and he will end up somewhere in the top 8, I would assume. So I'll probably put him easily in that top 8. So that's why he's ending up at 7th. Headed to the 8th seed is Ross Chastain. I think Trackhouse is going to have a big year. I think we're going to see a lot more of a consistency from that team, and no better way to do it than during the chase. Ross Chastain, he figured it out. He has always been the most consistent Trackhouse driver throughout his entire tenure, where it was at Chip Ganassi, then at Trackhouse. He has always been somewhat of the mid consistency level, and Chastain is only going to build and grow off of that, as well as Trackhouse getting better with the new Chevy Camaro body. He has been the cornerstone, the pillar of Trackhouse. He is going to be that again. And I know SVG is there, but he is more of a road course prowess type of guy. Chastain, he is the well-rounded, good everywhere type of driver, and that's what you need to be when you're dealing with something like the chase. He did very well last season. He got top 10 in overall points with the Winston era style point system. I believe he's going to fall somewhere in the top 10 yet again, but he's only to get better and amplify, build off that Coca-Cola 600 win, that momentum they got. So Ross Chastain, he's going to end up in the 8th seed. Coming in at number 9 is Tyler Reddick, who had a very interesting 2025. I believe that is an outlier, that is an outcast that will be pushed to the side in the corner. He had 0 wins, but he was fairly consistent with a 14.5 average finish. He did have some bad luck, have some bad stretches there, but I think that was a 23-11 racing issue overall. Tyler Reddick did finish 9th in the regular Cup Series standings, and he did place himself 8th in the Winston standings. So I see Tyler Reddick doing that same thing again. I see Toyota building. I see 2311 Racing coming into the season with a lot more stability, a lot more security there, and really, really motivated. So Tyler Reddick, easy top 10 pick for me. I'll put him 9th just behind Chastain. And Tyler Reddick will be looking to make a bounce back in the win category. So let's put Tyler Reddick at number 9. Rounding out our top 10 is Chris Buescher. You may be like, whoa, Chris Buescher. Let me explain. So Chris Buescher missed the playoffs. Do we really care about that? No, I don't. I do not care at all. Chris Buescher was consistent and he was good, and that's what you need to be. So Chris Buescher, look, he had a 14.3 average finish last season. Yes, he finished 17th in the playoff points, but he was fairly consistent, and he earned himself a 12th place finish in the Winston-style points format. So, obviously, Chris Buescher, he's very talented, very consistent. He is the main guy over there at RFK Racing. I know Keselowski's name's on the building, but he obviously stands out as their cornerstone, like a Chastain at Trackhouse. So Chris Buescher, he's going to be a real consistency threat, and I think RFK will kind of do a similar thing to Penske, but I think they'll lean more towards trying to get those wins in the regular season because they're at a different competitive standpoint than Penske. Obviously, they would like to win the championship. Do we think RFK will win the championship? Probably not, and they probably know that. So why not go out there and get some wins? Why not go out there and beat them in throughout the 26 race stretch, not just worry about the 10 race stretch. So Chris Buescher, I feel he's going to be a very, very solid driver over the course of the entire season, and especially those first 26 races. So that's why he is going in my top 10 spot for sure. So Chris Buescher ends up at 10. At the number 11 spot is Bubba Wallace, and rightfully so. And if you look at his stats, if you look at the points finishes, you would probably put him 11th because that's where he finished in both the playoff standings and in the Winston Cup Series standings, which is interesting. You may be skeptical about Bubba Wallace because of his average finish in 2025. It was kind of high at 18.5, with a lot of those being bad luck. He did lead a handful of laps, though, 378. So Bubba Wallace, he's looking to build, he's looking to grow. He got that win, and it was a good win. I was very happy for Bubba Wallace. He deserved that, and I think he'll get another win, maybe 2, in the first 26 races. So Bubba Wallace, he'll be competitive. He'll be around his teammate with Tyler Reddick, no doubt. The 2311 camp will be better prepared in 2026 than 2025, I feel like. So Bubba Wallace coming in at number 11. At number 12 is Joey Logano. Joey Logano, you look at his stats, you look at his points. He finished 7th in the playoff points, and he finished 9th in the Winston era points. I think, obviously, Team Penske will take the high road a little bit during the first 26 races, and Joey Logano is arguably the middleman of Team Penske, where he's like way off the pace of Blaney, but way better than Cindric. So I think in the middle, 12th out of the 16 is a very good spot for him. Makes sense to me. And you look at his average finish, he had 15.3 in 2025. He only had the one win, which I could see him getting a win at Atlanta, getting a win at like Texas like he did a few years ago. So Joey Logano, I think, is steady. He's a very steady consistency level driver, and 12th seems like a very good spot for him. So I'm going to put him at 12. Coming in at number 13, and similar to Bubba Wallace, is Alex Bowman. He also finished 13th in the Winston era points style and the playoff point style. So I guess that's fitting enough to put him 13th here as well. So Alex Bowman, he had a very down year. He got 0 wins in a Hendrick Motorsports car, which is like, yikes. But I feel Alex Bowman, he's going to come back. He's going to get a win this year. And he's going to come back motivated because his contract is up after this year. He's looking to prove himself ability wise to be in that Hendrick car for more long-term stability, to be able to reach the pinnacle with Ally to get to that 2028 contract where Ally is already on board with the number 48 car till 2028. He's looking to prove himself as the guy. I want to be the guy to be the behind the wheel for the Ally 48 till 2028. So he's going to be very motivated for sure. Alex Bowman, I root for him. I really do. He's dealt with a lot of injuries in the past. He's going to come in hot. He's going to come in ready to go. This is going to be another year removed from his injuries, so this will be very well suited for him, and I believe Alex Bowman will come in at the 13th spot. We're getting down to the end of it here. You might not agree with this one, but I think Ty Gibbs will make the chase and he will be around the 14th spot. Ty Gibbs, he missed the playoffs, obviously. However, if you look at the Winston points format, he finished 15th, ahead of guys like Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Michael McDowell, Carson Hocevar, Austin Cindric, SVG. So he's got those guys he's competing with this spot in 2026. He got those guys beat last year. So I think he can do it again. Another year at Joe Gibbs Racing, another year at the Cup Series under his belt. The kid has got talent. He's got that seat as long as he wants it. He's going to get better, and maybe some fans won't like that, but I think Ty Gibbs, he's set up well. He's set up well with Joe Gibbs Racing, one of the most competitive teams in NASCAR. He's got another year under his belt. Ty Gibbs will be a threat, more of a threat for a chase spot. I believe he will get a chase spot, and he will find himself around that 14th, 13th, 15th, maybe the 16th seed. Stuttering Stanley over here, but be on the lookout for Ty Gibbs. He probably will get that elusive first win, and it might come in the first 26 races. It might come in the playoffs, but oh my God, I just said playoffs. Somebody smacked me sideways with a ruler. Playoffs. Get that malarkey out of here. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, anyways, Ty Gibbs coming in at the 14th spot. We're down to our final two spots, and I think I want to do this in a bit of a suspenseful way. Let's look at my honorable mentions list and see who out of these 6 drivers will make those final 2 spots. So I have Carson Hocevar, I have Connor Zilisch, I have Austin Cindric, I have Brad Keselowski, I have SVG, and I have Ryan Preece. Now, out of all those guys, in my humble, personal, honest NASCAR race fan opinion, it's got to be Shane Van Gisbergen making it in the 15th spot. Look, dominated the road courses. Absolutely dominated them. Won 5, I think. Yes. And look, he was getting better at the NASCAR racetracks, the mile and a halfs, the short tracks. He was getting better towards the end of the season, and with another year under his belt, with probably domination at the road courses again, you have to factor him in to one of these 15th, 16th, 14th spots in the chase points. So SVG, look, he's going to be dominating the road courses. He's going to be getting better over the course of the season at mile and a half and short tracks. So I there's no way I can see him getting 5 wins, being where he was skill wise at the NASCAR type tracks and regressing. Maybe he won't win as many road course races, but I will see his consistency get better. So I'm going to reward SVG with a number 15 spot, and he will make the chase in on points and not that winning you're in malarkey. Okay, so the last spot, the 16th seed, we have to analyze it, and there's no better way to analyze it than looking at the overall points seeding from last season with the overall Winston points format. So, who do we have left? We got Brad K, Carson Hocevar, Connor Zilic, Austin Cindric, and Ryan Preece. Those are my guys. I could see each and every one of those guys making the 16th spot, making the 15th spot. I can see all those possibilities. But we are in a prediction video. Prediction. We need to be tough, be critical. So, looking at these points, right? You had Austin Cindric. He would finish 20th in the Winston era. Carson Hocevar would finish 19th. And then you have Michael McDowell at 18th. Kyle Busch at 17th. Whoa. And then you have Brad Keselowski at 16th. Who am I missing? Oh, Ryan Preece. Where is Ryan Preece? He is 14th. Ryan Preece finishes 14th in the Winston era points. The Winston era points, 14th in his first year at RFK. And that is why he's coming in at my 16th spot. I don't know what that was. I'm just trying to be suspenseful for you guys. Entertainment. But anyways, yeah, Ryan Preece is coming in at 16th. I'm a goofball today. I don't know what's going on. I'm filming this late at night. I don't know what's happening. So Ryan Preece coming in at the 16th spot. Look, he is going to be in a similar spot to Chase Briscoe, where he was also at Stewart-Haas Racing in a very underwhelming situation. You think you're getting the SHR. You think you're hopping into a bad a hot rod Ford Mustang. You're gonna rip around that track. You're gonna get multiple short track wins. You're gonna be very consistent, only to have Tony Stewart say not on my watch and back out of the sport, and that team goes up in flames. And then he lands at RFK Racing, and he does really, really well. Look at his statistics for Ryan Preece. Just look at him. An average finish of 15.7. That is really, really good. His average start is 19.4. I could see that getting better. He had 133 laps led. I could see that getting better. This is all in his first year stats, just like Chase Briscoe. So if you look at it again, I'm enhance 14th. 14th, guys. 14th in the Winston era points. He can do that again. He can do that again, no doubt. So Ryan Preece, he's coming in at my 16th spot, and I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him. He's a very, very good person, very good short track racer. He is the embodiment of NASCAR, and I love seeing drivers like Ryan Preece succeed in NASCAR. So these are my top 16. I'll throw this graphic back up in a second. I just want to take you guys through my top 17 through 20 and just to hash everything out, see what you guys think about my top 17 through 20. So we got Brad Keselowski, Austin Cindric, Connor Zilic, and Carson Hocevar. I could see each of these guys getting a win and being a real threat for the chase. I could see all these guys getting into the chase. I just feel like Ryan Preece, if you look at Ryan Preece going up against SVG and Ty Gibbs in a Joe Gibbs racing car, who he needs a win. He's going to get a win probably. It's just hard for me to see those three guys like slipping up that bad and missing out completely. So that's why these guys are on the outside looking in for me. Carson Hocevar, very talented, very young, has a lot to clean up in his racing style. I do not want him to lose that Dale Earnhardt intimidator feel. He just has to limit the mistakes that he commits. He can't let his own mistakes compound on top of things that are already out of his control, and you see what that does to him on the track. Sometimes he has like 3 spins by himself. Look at Sonoma, for example. So that's Carson Hocevar. Connor Zilic, he's a young phenom rookie, had 10 wins in the Xfinity Series, O'Reilly Series now. I could see him jumping in and winning a race. I really think Connor Zilic can win a race early in the Cup Series. It's just a consistency factor. He has to get dialed down. He has been very publicly stated that the Cup Series car doesn't fit his driving style as well as the O'Reilly car. So it's going to be a learning curve for Connor, but I think he can get it done. He's very, very talented. So he's at 19. 18, Austin Cindric. I just think he gets into the playoffs because of those wins more often than not. So without the win you're in, I think Austin Cindric, he's going to be around the 22nd to 16th place points the entire year. And he really does have to turn it on because his seat could be in jeopardy here soon. So Austin Cindric, man, I think he's going to finish around that area. 18th seems like a good spot for him. And Brad Keselowski, he had a horrible start to the 2025 season, crawled all the way back, almost got a couple wins, and you got to root for Brad K, man. He's a good guy. He just broke his leg. He should be back for the Daytona 500, hopefully. So you got to root for him. I think he will finish around the 20th to 17th spot as well. So I just want to share those with you guys. That's my 17th through 20th spot. But again, I can see all these guys getting into the chase and making it very, very interesting. And here's everything. Here's my top 16 and my top 17 through 20. That is it for me. That is my predictions. I've made my bed. I'm going to lay in it. I'm going to get cozy in it because I'm pretty confident in it. I don't know. I'm not very excited to come back and look at this because I'm scared. But I gotta take my medicine. I gotta believe myself, because if I don't believe myself, who is? So here's my predictions. I'm confident in them. I'm gonna be confident in them. I'll come back and look at these in a few months and see how well I did or how poor I did. But there they are. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think. Did I get them right? Did I get them wrong? Are these completely horrible, or are they good enough to satisfy you? I want to know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really, really appreciate you guys' viewership. It really means the world to me to engage with you guys in the comments and see you guys liking the video and viewing the video, because it makes me want to produce more videos for you guys, and it just fuels my passion for NASCAR, for communicating with fans like you guys. So thank you again for giving me a chance and giving this channel a chance. I will be active throughout the entire season doing NASCAR race reviews and analysis and other videos in between, and NASCAR news and whatever. And if there's anything you guys want me to do, make a video on, tier lists, rankings, different types of NASCAR content, I can even do F1 content, let me know. I'm open to anything, and I really, really am excited for the future. So that is my predictions for the chase. Thank you guys again for watching. Hope you enjoyed very, very much. And like, share, and subscribe if you're new, if you like to. And I hope you guys have a great, wonderful, and even splendid rest of your day. See ya.